Okay, we are now going to go over part 2 of OBS tutorial, covering the things we didn't cover last time. I might breeze over a couple of those things, but primarily we're going to be focused on the settings and studio mode for this second tutorial. So first off, let's begin with going through your settings. Most of the default settings will work for your needs. So first off, we have your general tab, and the most important things you want to check on this. I always make sure automatically check for updates on startup. If you don't have an accurate update, you could have issues during your stream. You want to keep things up to date, including your browser. Um, Also, make sure you have checked automatically record when streaming and keep recording when stream stops. Both of these. That's set so that when you hit start streaming here, you also start recording. And the reason you want to record as you stream is because if something happens on the streaming side, and say you're streaming to Facebook or YouTube and the internet goes down or whatever have you, you haven't lost everything you've been doing up to that point. You still have it recorded. Um, you can control and enable your snaps here, which is your snaps is when you're scaling things in OBS to the edges, the little red grab handles. You'll snap to the edges for you, which can be helpful. You can turn that off if you don't enjoy that. And that is, for the most part, all you need to worry about in the general. Now, as far as your stream goes, this we talked about a little bit last time. So you have your stream key area here. You have your service, which can be Facebook Live, Twitch, YouTube, whatever. This is where you're going to stream to. To get the stream key, you have to go to the service provider. So let's say we're going to go with Facebook here. So we're going to bring Facebook up here so you guys can see this. We are going to go ahead and we're going to make a new stream. So I'm going to click in the box like I'm going to create something. These three dots here, like I'm going to create a post. I'm going to hit live video. This is going to open up a whole new window over here. I'm sorry, not a whole new window. It's going to take me to a new area of Facebook where I can type a title for the video. I can say something about description wise. I can say where I want to share it to my timeline, to a page I manage, to a group. I can change it from public to private to unlisted to like basically only me, certain friends, acquaintances, whatever have you, right? Um, to get to, you know, so that says use camera right now. It's trying to use my camera, which for some reason it's not seeing it, but that's fine. What you don't want that. What you're looking for is a stream code, and to get a stream key, and to get that, you need to move from use camera to use stream key. And when you select use stream key, this will open up, and you'll see stream key down here, and you can select the copy right here. Click it. That copies the stream key, which is very long. Come back into OBS. Hit Control A or Command A, depending on whether you're Mac or PC, and then Control V or Command V to paste the copied stream key in. Control/Command A selects everything in there, and then you're pasting over it with the new one. And then you can simply apply it and then move on. In our output here, this is the output of your stream and of your recording. So for the stream, your default, I think, is 2,500. It might be 3,000 kilobytes per second. I have fairly good fast internet, so I bumped this up. Your audio bitrate, though, you don't really need to go very high because 128 is the max for most of the services out there for streaming. So there's no sense in going higher than 128 because, well, that's all it will accept. Going beyond that, it's going to reduce it down to 128 anyway. So keep that there. And then as far as your recording side of this, there's a recording path. So to set where you want your videos that you record to go, hit browse. Find someplace. I put mine in my videos in my library. They record there. The record quality, I set mine to be same as stream. You can increase it though to a high quality with a medium file size, very high quality, which is large size, or completely lossless, which would be huge files. I keep mine set to same as stream, though. I don't feel the need to go beyond that. Generally because oftentimes what I'm doing is I'm incorporating other people's streams via WebEx or Skype or whatever, and incorporating those in the video. So I'm already limited in the quality by the input of video that I'm getting. So there's no sense going super high quality on something that's still already going to be low quality when it's coming into me. And still, I found that even at that, same as stream, it's still high quality. Like the graphics and everything look good. They're only limited by the webcams themselves. So as far as audio goes, I did not have to make any changes in here to mine, as I recall, and you shouldn't in all likelihood either. Even though all these devices will say disabled, don't worry about that. That won't affect whatsoever. As you can see, my microphone down here is metering, even though all of my mics seem to be disabled. Well, they're not. Even though if I click one of these, it will show all my microphones as options down here. Going to video. In video, you have your base or your canvas resolution, and then you have your output resolution. I have mine set to be the same, 720, because we output on our channel at 720. So there's no sense for me to record anything larger than 720. And I don't see the sense in having it take something 1080 and scale down when half the time I'm having to scale things like webcams up. So I keep these at 720 for both the base and the output. And I recommend for you guys, probably keep it around the same. Your webcams, unless you're using DSLR, even if you are using DSLR, 720 on a as a webcam looks pretty decent. And that's where I'm currently outputting at. And if you're using something like SparkleCam, it is a CPU hog. So the bigger you make your higher the quality you make your webcam, a DSLR through SparkleCam, the more it's going to increase the risk of something crashing, just because how much it uses of your CPU. As far as hotkeys, you can go in any given scene. So in this scene we have here, which is the class instruction scene, I can set hotkeys to do, rather than me clicking, I can have a hotkey that will enable that thing to work. Show mic, hide mic, and you'll notice all these are in pairs. They're basically on-off switches, the same as when you hit these little eyes over here to turn on a thing or off, which it won't let me do on in a menu. But so if you prefer hotkeys, you can set things up to do hotkey. I just find it easier to just use the mouse right over here and turn them on and off here without having to remember which hotkey was which one. So I don't mess with the hotkeys. I also don't mess with the advanced. There's nothing there to worry about. In all likelihood, there is some interesting things where you can do stream delays and things like that. I haven't found a need for that. So once you've got all your settings set, you apply any changes that you've made, hit OK. Now, we're going to send this stream signal so we see what it looks like. I'm going to make sure I'm on only me here in case I actually stream. So now with my stream keys now in there, but I'm not streaming. This is waiting for live video. So I'm going to hit start streaming, which will start the stream, and will start a recording. Yes, start the stream. You notice it now says stop streaming and stop recording. It automatically started the recording. It's sending the stream. And if we come over here to Facebook now, it says connecting live video, and now you see me there. However, I'm still not live. I'm not live until I actually tell the service, which is in this case Facebook, to go live by clicking this button here. And once I do, a couple moments will pass, and then it'll start to actually be streaming. I don't intend to actually stream. Once you're done, you'll just stop in stream down here, same way as you started it. And then you'll stop your streaming and stop your recording individually in here. So that's kind of the basics on using the stream, stream keys, and the basics in your settings on what you need to change and look for. Oh, I did forget one thing in the settings. I apologize. I went into the video, or two things I forgot. I'm shooting in 30 frames per second because that's the output on our station. You don't have to have it at 30. You can put it at 24. You can put it at 60, whatever your personal preference is. But over here in your output, I skipped right over it. After recording quality, there's a recording format. And I think by default it's MKV, but it might not be. You want it, despite the fact that MP4 and MOV are options, you want to keep it on MKV because it doesn't have to remux. What that means is when you're recording and you're in a setting other than MKV, if there's a crash in OBS or your computer or something, every bit of that recording is now gone. It's gone. You can't get it back because it needs, after you finish and hit stop, it needs a few seconds to process the video recording. However, in MKV, it is processing as it is recording. So if suddenly this were to die, I would have every bit of this recording up to the moment of that crash of OBS or whatever. So always record in MKV. Now, the downside of recording in MKV is it's not visible in most players. In Premiere won't read it. So you have to get another program such as Vlc Player, which is a free program, very good media player, that you can also use to re-encode things, to convert them. So for example, you'll download VLC if you don't already have it. A lot of people already have it. It's kind of an industry standard. It's free. I'm going to go to a video here. We're going to open up this one here that's non-converted. I'm just going to open with VLC. I'll show you guys what this looks like. I'm going to pause that there. And now I'm going to go to Media, Convert, and Save. And I'm going to add all the videos I want to convert here. In this case, I'm just going to select that one, the one I currently have up there. I'm going to hit Open. Then I'm going to hit Convert/Save. And I'm going to choose under Profile H.264 plus MP3, an MP4 file. Select that, and then I'm going to browse to where I want to save, which is usually next to the original, and I'll add converted or something to the end because it won't let you, it'll come in by default with the name it has, but since it's converting that video, you can't use the exact same name or else it's overwriting itself as it's trying to overwrite itself, which is not a good thing. It just won't let you. So give it a new name, whatever you need, converted, new, whatever, and then hit save. And then once you've got that in, hit start, and you'll see whatever's up there go away, and a blue progress bar will come up here as the screen goes black. And once it's done converting, you'll have your file in the destination you selected. And then you can close VLC Player after that. So definitely use the MKV setting and just make sure you get VLC Player in case you need to do any post-production on any of this work. Typically, I have to do a little bit outside of the live streams and we want to clean things up to do more polished videos because we'll go back and take those files. We'll chop off some of the beginning and end that has excess, drop in extra information or extra graphics that we may have wanted to have but didn't have access to and didn't realize that we're going to talk about it. You're not going to need to worry about any of that though. Settings are set. Make sure you hit apply before you hit OK. And now we're just going to go over a couple last things in mainly studio mode. The studio mode is interesting. It gives you the ability to do fun things like preview in the preview window what it'll look like before you actually see it. And this works for some things, not all things. For example, with a still image like this, or perhaps I had another window capture. Let's see if this window capture here has something. So I can see this window capture before I actually bring it in on the program monitor. The program is what's actually going out on the stream. So I have it here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select to have this browser come over. And so I'm going to hit fade because rather than have a hard cut, studio mode lets me apply a transition when I change between different sources in a given scene. So I'm going to hit this. It's going to fade it in over top of me rather than a hard cut. And when I want to go back to me, let's turn this eyeball off in window capture for this, what's up right now. And you'll see my preview over here. I'm back, but I'm still not on the stream. I'm not what's going out. This is the preview still. So now if I want this to fade in over this, I'll hit fade again, or I could do a hard cut. Hard cuts default what happens if you're not in studio mode, by the way. So I will fade once again, and I'm back over here. Hello, I'm back, right? So now if I want to turn the CG off, I can turn it off over here. And you'll see over here, though, my CG is still there. I have to hit the fade, and now my CG fades out. So this is kind of how you use the studio mode. I'm going to add a couple sources in here so you can see some other things that you can do. This is just a media source. We're going to browse to a video. There we go. And we're going to hit media source here, or turn that on, I mean. And this is what's interesting. I have no idea the scale, the size of the thing coming in here. It may be off scale, but whatever. I'm going to play this, and I'm going to use the fade to bring it in. But because it's a media source, a video, it starts in the off mode and in basically transparent mode. There's nothing there until I hit play. So because of that, I get nothing in the preview. I don't know. I only know it's coming up because I have it selected as the active shot on the top layer in there, right? So I'm going to hit fade, and then it's going to come into me playing a video, right? Or playing guitar. And there is a media source for this, which is down here. So if you wanted to roll this without the audio, media sources will come in. If there's audio attached, they come in with audio. So right now there would be both the guitar playing and my mic. Now, because I'm recording this in, you don't hear what I'm playing or singing there because the only mic you're getting, the only audio you're getting is from this mic. But if I were streaming this out, because I have both a media source, which is me playing, and a mic here, you'd get both of those going out in the stream. But I'm using WebEx to record this, so you're not going to see that. And then obviously, if I don't want the audio to be heard on, say, that media source, if I want it as just B-roll, you can just turn down and bring the slider all the way down and pot down the audio. And now if I want to go back to me, once again, I hit this, hit my fade here as a transition, and I'm back. Now, if a media source like a video plays and it gets to the end, it will just go to black. Now, there is a way to turn that off, the show nothing when playback ends. If you turn that off, I believe it will then show whatever is beneath the layers that's visible. Now, you may also want to add images. In fact, you're going to have to for the project. So the CG counts as an image, but I also need a full-size image. So we're going to add in another source, an image. Let's just go to pictures and find something. Sure. Oops. Hit OK. And now we're going to scale this up in preview over here so I can see what it looks like. Lock it. Now we'll make our transition there, and there we go. Turn this off. Now I know what it's going to transition to. Maybe I want my CG back on, and I will transition here. And then maybe I want to turn off the CG after a few seconds. So I'm going to turn it off there, and I'll do my next fade. And boom, the CG is now gone. So that's essentially using studio mode to apply a fade, or possibly if you want a fade to black to your shot to end something to bring it down or bring it up. I've had some issues with studio mode though. There's certain functionality that doesn't work quite right. Like in this case, this media source should work. This one, when I tested last time, it's still working. It's starting over. They don't always. In fact, sometimes they will only play once and never again. Sometimes they will pick up where they left off the last time you played it or tested it. These are issues, which is why I tend to not use studio mode. But I wanted you guys to be aware of it. I'll show you an example of what I mean here. I'm going to go over to up to the minute show. And so in up to the minute, I have some CGs here. I'm going to go ahead and roll one of these, and you'll see what it's going to look like. You can't see it right now because these CGs are video. They're media files because they're video. They're animated. So I have it selected. This is going to now, we're going to do a fade. It's going to come in. Then you're going to see it animate back out. Now watch what happens when I turn that off. I'm going to turn it back on again. I'm going to hit fade again. But it didn't play back. And this is the kind of problem I've discovered that sometimes occurs in the studio mode, even though the settings are exactly the same on this as they were with the previous video I just showed you that it did work with. So for whatever reason, some of them it works with, some of them it doesn't. So typically I won't use studio mode. Occasionally I'll go into it, but another issue with that is I'll often do group images like this, for example, where I will have a white background in the group at the bottom. And then above it, I'll have lots of other images, such as this Three Brothers Bakery. Now, if I apply the fade here, it'll do exactly as we expect it will. But the problem is, if I now decide I want to go to another image, it's not going to let me do the preview. It will automatically hot swap because this is in a group. I'd have to have each one of these images separate. And in the case of needing a white background because they're like this and don't properly fill the frame because they're portrait style, for example, as opposed to landscape photos, I now have to create an individual group with a color source background for each one of the images, which you can do, which I can do, but you'll notice these fill up quickly with graphics that you're using and playing back as you're going through. And grouping is a great way to get everything condensed as much as possible. So I prefer to not do that. And what I'll do is I'll hot swap between as needed. And I just forgo the transition during these particular scenes. So you can still run the studio mode and have that nice fade between some of your things, which I do. It'll by default happen between scenes when you do a scene change, such as this right here, which obviously I'm in studio mode, so it's going to do that. But as you make transitions like that or like that, it'll automatically apply that default transition between scenes because you have a scene transition. You have to use studio mode to get it to change between sources. And like I said, and as you've seen, it's not always dependable on how it functions or if it even will function. So lastly, now let me go back over here to class instruction, this particular scene. And we're going to take a look now at what I'm expecting from you guys in this streaming project. So you're going to need to include a full screen image, kind of like this one right here. You're going to need to include a webcam or a window capture. So window capture can be like maybe you're in Skype and you're capturing multiple windows and you're breaking that one window with 4 people or 2 people into quadrants individualized as separate shots so you can live switch between different cameras, if you will. Or use something like WebEx or Zoom where it switches on the active speaker. Whoever's actively speaking, it switches to their camera. Or perhaps you also will need to have a video media source, which will be a video to play back. Maybe you're going to be talking about your video production skills and show off some B-roll or a video of something you've done. Your finished stream needs to fall between 2 minutes and 1 hour. I'm giving you a lot of leeway here because what I really want you to do is use this and actually do a stream. Connect with people, maybe do an interview with people, maybe talk to friends you haven't talked to from far away, whatever. Just make sure you're incorporating all the facets and aspects that are required for this broadcast. Maybe you're doing this to talk about something you're passionate about, something you believe in. Maybe it's a hobby. Maybe this is something for you professionally, and you want to take this and show an example of what you can do service-wise for someone who may need your skill set in broadcasting via OBS or meeting moderations to bring up remote possibilities for companies out there that are trying to connect right now remotely, and you can provide them a new service. Whatever the case, I want it to be something that you are interested in. And you will get extra points if you actually stream it. You don't have to, you're not required to, but you do have to at least record it using OBS. You'll need to include an audio input capture, which is microphone. You'll need to include a window capture, such as this one here, which is just the window right now that we were looking at, learning to use OBS. You'll need to include an image or media source of a graphic that's part of a lower third. And I think you all know what a lower third is now, but in case you've forgotten, it's that right there. It's the CG. It's going to have your name. It's going to have your information on it. It doesn't have to have specifically your name or information. Maybe you're interviewing somebody else and you're not on camera. Then you'll have their information on screen. But you'll need some kind of super. Maybe it just has contact info for you because you're doing this as a possible job. Wow, just spaced on the word. Not resume. Audition. Employment audition, maybe. I don't know. Maybe you're remotely auditioning for a job and showing off skills, whatever. You need to include a text source. And I think we went over this last time, but I'll go over it one more time. I think actually my CG included, yes, lines of text, 2 lines of text created in here. You can choose the font. You can select the font, different type. You can then scale it once you're, you can even do vertical as well. You must also include an image overlay as a logo or a watermark, okay? So if you guys got a company and you got a logo, like behind me here, there's this Watchers thing, but this is actually part of the video background. But something like that could work, except I need an image overlay, not something that's behind. So this would be like an image overlay, the CG, but this is part of the CG. So what you would need would be something over top that may sit there like a watermark or your company logo, whatever, in a corner, just as an identifier. And you all need to have something along that lines. You'll need to have the opening scene, I kind of skipped over there, which will be a media source that will play at the beginning. This is kind of like your opening. This is kind of how you step on out. and start your show. So it doesn't have to be anything that's fancy. You just need to have some sort of video opening, and you have to have a video close as well. Let me switch back over here. And you need to have a video or an image and text credits for your close, okay? So maybe you're just going to use text. I think this is the close and I called it open. I'm not sure what happened to it. Huh. Guess not. I thought I had something else there. Um, so that is what is required on this project. I want you to try and have fun with this, though. I want you, hopefully, to use this more than just once for the project, but actually use this to reach out, hang out with people, maybe start doing some live streams of your own. I do multiple. The Watchers one you saw with my background there. Um, this one here, which is Librarian of Alexandria. I do a Saturday night stream of really bad movies, actually, and we just kind of talk about them. MST 3000 kind of way, me and some friends. It's in the situation we're in. It's been a lot of fun to be able to reach out, even though social isolation is keeping me home alone, except for the little critter down here, which I'll introduce you all to. Say hi, Jet. This is my new buddy here. Jet, say hello to everybody. I woke you up. I know you're so upset with me. But have fun with this. Share your pets with the world. Share your interests. Share your passion. Let that passion come out in this. Do a stream. Have those elements. Have fun. And reach out to me if you've got questions or if you want to run your idea past me and let me know. Like, hey, is this okay? Reach out to me. Let me know. Um, this project is due on the, I'm sorry, on the 1st of May. But I'm probably going to give you guys a little more time than that. I may extend this 1 week because our final week's not till the 15th, which you'll be doing a final that day, a test final, and we will be meeting because we're going to be viewing some of you guys' work via WebEx. I'll be sharing some of that. We may even be sharing some of these broadcasts, but I'm not going to require you guys. You get to share the links there, but like I said, some of these can be up to an hour long. I'm giving permission for that because I certainly look forward to seeing you guys' streams. But I won't require the class to sit there for 11 hours while we watch 11 different ones that are that long. So we won't be watching those as part of the class. Again, if you guys have any questions, reach out to me. I hope you have as much fun with this as I've been having. Yeah, that's it for me. I'll see you in class.